Viewmasters, it's the podcast that we do. Viewmasters, talk about movies that we view. Viewmasters, my friend Eric and me, Joe. Viewmasters, hey, let's start the show.
Hello, welcome to the Viewmasters, episode 218, Locke. My name is Joe.
My name is Eric.
Hello, Eric.
Hello, Joe.
How are you?
Fine.
Just fine.
Just fine.
Okay, alright.
And how are you?
See how this is gonna go. I am fine as well. I don't know why we're fighting.
We are not.
We're not? Oh, okay.
No, this is
This is just how we talk on the phone?
Yeah, well, there's that, yes. This is also just, let's push past all the horrible things that are happening and just pretend they don't exist for 40 minutes or so.
That works for me.
All right.
More than happy to do that.
Okay. And since I am me, things can't be good ever. So, I'm fine.
All right, solid C+.
All right. Yeah, exactly.
I'm doing great.
That is good.
No systemic problems in the world or certain industries or anything like that to be concerned about.
Nope, none at all.
Locke.
I
I watched the right movie, right?
I hope so.
Okay.
Was on Netflix?
Yes, is the prequel to Locke and Key?
Yes, starring Tom
Perfect.
Hardy.
Yes.
Yes, you watched the right one then.
Okay, good.
I would elaborate more, but I've never seen Locke and Key, so I can't fake anything.
Yeah, I know I read some of Locke and Key, and I remember nothing about it other than it didn't really do anything for me.
All right.
So I haven't watched any of the show either.
It's a Joe Hill comic, correct?
That's right, yeah.
Yeah. Stephen King's son.
That's right.
It's a secret.
So yeah, this movie may very well be a prequel to Locke and Key, and we would have no idea.
All right. If it is the prequel to Locke and Key, then, I hope Locke and Key is a little more exciting than this movie.
Yeah, I don't know that there's a lot of driving in Locke and Key.
Well,
so,
if there isn't, then, this prequel has that covered.
Yeah, maybe they were like, let's go in a different direction with Locke and Key.
Yes.
Away from cars and the highway.
So this is a 85-minute movie in which I believe 83 minutes of it entirely take place within a car on the highway.
Right. Exactly.
And that is it.
That is the movie.
Yes. Nothing else really.
This movie is a hair-raising thrill ride about distracted driving. I was tense for much of this movie.
I definitely had some anxiety, and I did keep expecting him to get into an accident.
Right.
Sometime before the end of the movie. And, spoiler, he doesn't.
He does not.
He just keeps driving.
Yeah. Physically, he survives.
Yes, he does. I'm already thrown off because it takes place in England, and so already the driving is backwards.
Right. He's sitting in the passenger seat.
He is, and driving on the wrong side of the road.
Yeah.
So combine all that with the fact that he is also actively just looking at books and fiddling around with his phone. It was a kind of a hair-raising experience. You're correct.
It was a little harrowing. Yeah. So yeah, this movie is Tom Hardy in a car on the phone for an hour and a half.
Yeah.
With different people.
Yep. Yeah, that's the whole movie.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm just gonna go ahead and say that I kind of enjoyed this movie. It was not super thrilling. Like it was. I would call this movie kind of mundane.
It is very mundane.
Yeah, but I liked that about it. Like the stakes are not super high in this movie.
I mean, I guess there are some stakes, but and I mean, I feel like they are very personal stakes to that character.
Yes.
Like there's no, no one is in any kind of life-threatening. Well, I guess maybe one person is in a life-threatening situation.
Yeah.
But most of the threats are to Tom Hardy himself and brought on by himself. And in the grand scheme of things, kind of small.
Yeah. Yeah, like a lot of the movie is him dealing with construction issues.
There is an exceptional amount of that, yes. We learn so much about concrete.
Yeah,
C6,
I never expected.
Joe. C6.
C5?
No, not C5. C6.
I don't know what that means.
I don't either.
I assume it has something to do with how it sets, but I don't know.
You got me?
All I know is C6 is apparently better than C5.
Yes.
And maybe C7 is better than C6. I don't know.
I mean, logically, that would be the conclusion we could both draw.
Oh, boy. So if you're interested in the day-to-day workings of a concrete layer, this movie's for you.
Yes. If just the inner workings of building construction, the largest in Europe that is not a military facility, or there was something else.
Yeah. It's a biggin.
Yeah, it's a huge deal. So much so that the people in Chicago, they're going to flip.
They're very excited.
Yes.
Back at corporate.
And speaking of exaggeration, we are not exaggerating, and that is like a good third of what happens in this movie.
Yeah, at least a third of the phone calls that he has while he's driving for an hour and a half are concrete related.
This sounds riveting.
Was that a construction pun?
No, but I wish it were.
So the other calls are about the destruction of our main character's personal life.
Yes. So I'm glad in a way that the movie is set up in such a way that we are kind of kept in the dark as to what all these phone calls are actually pertaining to. I mean, other than the concrete, we get that right away.
Right.
But so the movie starts with our main character, Ivan Locke,
Right.
getting into his car, a Beamer, nonetheless. about to make a left turn, and then at the last minute makes a right turn, and then he begins making phone calls, and we follow him in real time, traveling on a highway, making these phone calls that we don't know the nature of exactly, but it is revealed fairly quickly that he is on the way to a hospital to witness the birth of his baby. But before that, he has to call and let his wife know that he's not going to be home.
Right. Yeah, that's basically it.
Yep. And everything spirals out of control from there.
Yeah.
And by out of control, I mean a solid 60 miles an hour, or whatever they use in England.
I think it'd be probably around 110 kilometers an hour. If I remember right from my travels in Canada.
All right.
It's also important to know that he's missing a big football game that he had intended to watch with his son.
Yes. He has 2 sons.
Does he?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Eddie and Sean.
I forgot about the other one, I guess.
Yeah, well, it's probably because he's not played by Spider-Man.
Right.
And so who gives a fuck?
I will tell you that watching the end credits for this movie were a revelation.
It is.
Because the only person that you see in the movie is Tom Hardy.
Yep.
Everyone else is over the phone.
Yep.
So...
And for that, it is a star-studded cast.
It really is. It's kind of amazing.
It really is. So Tom Holland plays his son Eddie. So Spider-Man is Venom's son.
Oh, wow. I mean, that actually checks out.
Yeah.
I can see that.
Uh-huh.
I've seen that on the internet. Yes. So yeah, Tom Holland is the son. Olivia Colman from The Favorite and Broadchurch. Yeah. She is the woman who is giving birth, or who is going into labor.
Mm-hmm.
And then Ruth Wilson from a whole bunch of stuff.
Yeah. Luther is where I first saw her.
Okay. I know she's on His Dark Materials as well.
She was also in the Lone Ranger movie.
Wow.
Yeah.
Amazing. But yeah, so she is Ivan Locke's wife.
Yes, Katrina, I believe.
Yes.
Yeah. And then Andrew Scott plays his possibly drunk colleague.
Yes.
Who he is trying to basically teach how to oversee a concrete pour.
Basically.
He is, at least to me, best known as Moriarty from the Sherlock series.
Yeah, I would say maybe at this point he's best known as the hot priest from Fleabag.
Okay. I've not seen Fleabag, so...
You should watch Fleabag.
Alrighty.
I think you would love Fleabag.
Okay. I've heard numerous people recommend it.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
And speaking of hot priests, Ben Daniels is the voice of his other colleague, Gareth, who played one of the sexy fuck priests on the Exorcist TV show.
Oh, sexy fuck priests.
Yep. That is pretty much entirely what I just refer that show as. The sexy fuck priest show.
Yeah, no, I get that.
Because both of those guys are sexy, and I just wanted to see them fuck.
Oh, so it's not that you want to fuck them yourself.
No.
It's you want to see them hook up.
Yes.
Okay.
There was so much sexual tension and chemistry in that show between the two hot priests.
Well, I mean, I will say that my favorite part of the original Exorcist film is all the sexual tension between the priests. Like, that movie, don't watch that with your parents, because it is uncomfortable.
It's true in more ways than one. So yes, I mean, I'm not gay, but I totally wanted to see them fuck on that show.
Sure, yeah.
And also,
I understand that.
Yeah. Also, it's a pretty good show.
Was that like 2 seasons, or is that still on?
2 seasons.
Okay.
Yeah, highly recommended.
Nice.
Especially the first season, if you don't go into it knowing other than, the vaguest of, that it's, based on The Exorcist.
Okay, good to know.
Yeah. But yeah, anyway. So yeah, star-studded cast who never gets seen.
Yeah, I was impressed, and it was probably an easy day at work for them to record their dialogue for this movie.
I'm sure. Although I did read the Wikipedia, as I do.
Right.
And I guess so. The entire film was shot over 8 days.
Okay.
And I guess they actually recorded their lines from a conference room while he was actually in the car, so that they could hear like the background noise.
That's amazing,
right?
Oh, I love that.
And so that you and I can both relax a little. He was not actually driving. His car was being towed on the back of a tow truck.
Okay.
A flatbed. So
I mean, I figured he wasn't actually driving.
Oh, sure.
I've seen movies before, Eric.
Have you?
I think so.
At least
I've seen at least 18 movies.
Makes sense.
I could name them for you if you'd like.
Please, by all means.
All right, so let's see. Number 1, An American Werewolf in London.
Okay.
Number 2, I don't remember.
All right, we'll call it good.
Okay. Sweetback's Badass Song. What was number 2?
I think it was Black Cauldron.
I think you're right. That's right. Oh. Listeners, it's been a long week.
It really has.
Oh, a long week and a long existence.
Yeah, cannot argue with that.
Yeah.
Also, really not a ton to talk about with this movie.
There's really not, yeah. Like,
I mean, we have already explained the plot.
I mean, so what did you think about the way it was shot? Like and I guess sort of the editing of it, because it could get it could have been super boring if it was just like static shots of him in the car, but I feel like they did a decent job of trying to make sure that it was somewhat visually exciting.
Yeah, I think they did a pretty decent job doing that. I mean, I spent 12 years basically commuting the entire time of this movie.
Right.
And, driving gets boring after a little while. And I could not imagine just watching a static shot of somebody driving for that amount of time.
Yeah.
And so I think they actually did do a pretty good job of making it not the dreary existence of what a long commute actually is.
Yeah, I thought that worked well as a viewer, but I also sort of felt like, I've made many a long drive as well. Not daily
Sure.
like you did it, but just driving, like when I was in college, driving between Dayton and Bowling Green. It's about 2 hour drive, so you have a lot of time alone with your thoughts.
Yeah.
And also it's very boring.
Yeah, and it's Ohio, so it's not exactly a thrill a minute on the highway.
Right.
I mean, it could be worse. It could be Indiana or Nebraska.
Shots fired at Indiana and Nebraska. Damn, they're on blast.
Blame their fucking corn.
But yeah, no, so I, like I said, as a viewer, I thought that they did a good job trying to keep it visually interesting, but I also feel like it did a good job of capturing just how boring a long drive can be.
Right.
There's not a ton of time where he's just sort of sitting there driving. But the amount of time that there is, I feel like it's a very moody movie.
Oh, yes.
I feel like it captured that mood very well.
Yeah. Going back to my, just in the back of my head kept thinking that, he's gonna like crash at the end of this movie or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, obviously there's the entire distracted driving subplot, which I guess is what passes for a subplot in this movie.
Yeah, there's not really subplots. It's just 3 plots.
Yep.
And they are all A plots.
Yeah, pretty much. Well, when you're going through a personal crisis, everything's pretty much the A plot to you. So,
that's true.
Well done there.
That's an excellent point.
Yeah. But yeah, while he's driving, there's just trucks that are just blasting past him, or multiple times we see, I believe, police cars going past him with their lights on,
mm-hmm.
which kind of heightens the anxiety for a moment. Especially like if it is a scene where he is, flipping through a folder, which you should not do if you're driving.
Yeah, probably not.
Yeah. I would say 100% don't do that.
All right. Bold stance.
Yep.
I'd say, 90% don't do that.
Joe.
If there's no other cars around, I don't see the big deal about it.
Joe. You know my stance on driver safety.
Yeah, you're 90% in favor of it.
I am 100% in favor of it, Joe.
This is news to me.
I will not stand for any less. I have
All right.
never texted while driving or opened up the cellophane on a Blu-ray while driving.
That's really specific.
Or eaten weird foods that you shouldn't eat when you drive. I've never done that.
I'm sure. No, you're
like
always
taco
just the
or something.
pinnacle of safety.
Or perhaps oatmeal.
Oatmeal? Eric.
You don't eat oatmeal while you drive.
All right,
that
sorry,
is
okay.
what my point is here.
Okay. Again, very specific thing that you do not do while driving.
Exactly.
Well, I'm glad that you've level set me for your stance.
Good.
And that the listener knows as well that you are 100% in favor of car safety, and I am 90% in favor.
It's that 10% that could get you killed, Joe.
I it hasn't so far, so I'm just gonna ride it out.
Oh,
ride or die.
You are the one that they make driver's instructional videos about.
That's right. I slept through those. I slept right through those.
Speaking of sleeping, I fell asleep twice during this movie.
Oh no! I did not fall asleep during this movie. I did get distracted at one point, and when I put away the distraction, it was maybe for 5 minutes. And when I put away the distraction, I had absolutely no idea what was going on. so I had to rewind and watch the 5 minutes that I had missed. Because it's just him in a car.
Yep.
On the phone.
Yeah. According to the Wikipedia, he has 36 phone calls in this movie.
Wow.
Which I've never taken a phone call in the car.
No.
Ever.
I feel like I have, but I can't think of when. It's probably been a very long time.
Yeah, and I mean, to be fair, I try not to take phone calls when I'm not driving either. Because I do not enjoy it.
Yeah. And text me or don't try to communicate with me.
Yeah, pretty much. Yep, 100%. This is the closest that I get to phone calls.
Yeah, me too, actually.
Yeah. Every time I'm at work and the phone rings, I get mad.
If we could do this just over text, that'd be perfect, actually.
Yeah, I mean, surely there's got to be some sort of text-to-voice thing that, we could utilize. And certainly it has to sound better than my nasally, sniffy, slurpy voice.
I'm sure... probably it would sound better than both of our voices.
Yeah.
Let's just be completely honest.
So I cannot imagine making 36 phone calls within 90 minutes.
It seems excessive.
Yes. I would be driven insane.
Yeah. And he sort of is.
Yeah, he is, actually. Yeah.
Seems like.
Yeah. Yeah, he does also talk to his dead father in the backseat of his car.
Yeah, like you do.
Sure. To clarify, the corpse and or ghost of his father is not in the car. He is just having a mental breakdown.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah. The implication is that he sees his father or is imagining his father in the backseat of the car.
Yes.
That'd be pretty fucked up if, you've been watching the movie for 40 minutes and then all of a sudden there's a shot of the backseat of the car and there's a dead body. It certainly would liven things up a little bit.
Yeah. But that would really have taken away the mundanity of this movie.
That's true.
And it may sound like I am kind of crapping on it a little bit, but I did genuinely like this movie because it was just a straight human drama.
Yeah. I like I said before, I enjoyed watching this. I don't know that I would watch it again.
Absolutely not.
Yeah, I feel like it'd be a really good movie to have on while you're trying to fall asleep.
I can confirm.
And I appreciated the experiment of it.
Yes.
Making a movie that's just a guy in a car was, it's a neat idea, and I think it was executed as well as it possibly could be.
I absolutely agree. Yes.
Yeah, so yeah, I would say this is my second favorite movie where Tom Hardy drives a car for most of it.
Venom as the first one?
Yes, of course, Venom. The famous driving movie. Venom. I mean, there are a few points where the symbiote refers to him as Bloodbag, so yeah, no, that checks out.
Yeah. Yes, I agree. This is the second best Tom Hardy in a car movie.
You know, it occurred to me, too, while I was watching this, that I don't know what Tom Hardy actually sounds like in real life.
Thank you for saying that, because I was going to bring that up as well. I don't believe I've ever heard his real voice.
Yeah, so I don't know if this is his real voice. I don't think it is.
I don't believe it is either. It sounds to me like he is supposed to be Irish in this movie, maybe?
Yeah, I think so.
And I don't believe he is actually Irish.
Yeah, so yeah, I like the only other movie that I've seen where he speaks in what sounds like a normal voice is Inception.
Okay.
And even then, I think he's doing some sort of an affected thing. I don't know. I don't know if that's his real voice or not.
Yeah, I don't know either. And honestly, until this moment, forgot he was in Inception.
Right? He has a very small role in Inception.
Yeah.
But I kind of like that, you know? Like, I know I could probably seek out an interview with him and find out what he actually sounds like.
Sure.
But I kind of like not knowing.
Yeah, and also, he seems like the kind of person who would just be grating in an interview.
Yeah, I can see that.
Like, I think he's a fantastic actor.
Yeah.
And I think this movie definitely showcases that for sure. But, yeah, he seems like he might be insufferable.
Yeah, I could imagine him being very method.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if he actually is or not, but he just sort of get that vibe.
Yeah,
I guess from his performances.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I guess he can do a lot of weird voices, though.
He can.
You know, from his whatever the fuck was happening in Venom to you know. That other movie with comic book people in it.
Batman?
That's the one.
The Dark Knight Rises?
Yes.
Oh, yes.
Which I've still never seen that movie. And I'm mostly just aware of the Bane voice via Doug Benson.
Okay. You know, I like that movie.
Okay.
I haven't seen it in a long time, but I like it.
All right. I did not enjoy Dark Knight.
Right.
Which I know is the best movie ever made.
That's true.
But
suck it, Citizen Kane.
Yep. But I'm going to be the lone dissenter on that one and say that it was just not very good, and I had no desire to see its follow-up.
That's fair.
Yeah. Which is a real shame, because I thought Batman Begins was pretty great.
Yeah, Batman Begins, I think, holds up really well.
Yeah. Other than the Tom Hardy connection, I don't know why we're suddenly talking about Christopher Nolan movies.
Because he's in a couple of them. I think that's just how we got there.
All right.
So yeah, I don't know that I have a ton more to say about Locke either.
Yeah. The ending is vague and a non-ending, but also,
yeah, definitely.
You know, such is life, and I think that's kind of the point.
Yeah, no, I like that, and I like, you know, it. I don't know that it's meant to feel hopeful.
Right.
That may just be the music that plays is sort of hopeful at the end. but it feels like, his life has sort of been destroyed at this point. But, here's a chance to start over and maybe do it better.
Yeah, I think that's... I mean, in his conversations, quote-unquote, with his father, who does not exist.
Right. He existed at some point.
Well, yeah, sure. But not within the context of this movie.
Right.
He makes allusions to the fact that his father had abandoned him when he was a child, and that, he's made this mistake in his life where he is fathered a child by another woman. And it's his determination that he is just going to do right by that child and not abandon any child of his. And it's an admirable quality, but, at what cost?
Right.
Because in the process, he loses his wife, his home, and his job.
Yeah, so not small things.
No, yeah, those are all pretty important to, individual people. Yeah.
And it's a lot to lose all at once.
Very true.
This is an eventful car trip.
It really is. And
he hasn't even gotten to his destination yet.
Nope, not even by the end of the movie. And yeah, like all within 90 minutes, just loses it all.
It's almost impressive.
Yeah. I mean, in a way, I can apply that to my own life and say, well, at least I've not fucked up that bad.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
I can also say I've not fucked up that badly.
Well, congratulations to you.
Thanks.
You're very welcome.
We're doing better than Ivan Locke.
Yes, we are. Although I believe he has a nicer car than either of us have.
He does have a very nice car. I thought the built-in phone thing was really, really fancy.
Yeah. And you know what? I really liked his sweater.
I did not even notice the sweater he was wearing.
It was just a nice blue cable knit, V-neck sweater that he had a button-up shirt underneath. And, I'm not a sweater guy because I'm fat and I get hot a lot.
All right.
But it looked really good, and I'd be like, I would like to wear a sweater like that sometime when it's incredibly cold.
You should definitely do that.
Yeah.
Make that a goal for this year.
Okay.
It's not too late to add things to your New Year's resolution list.
It's true. And
it's only June.
Yeah, I've got 6 months in which I can purchase a sweater. At which point, possibly even wear it then.
Excellent. I want to see photos of this by the end of the year.
Okay.
Or we're going to talk about it on the show, and I'm going to be very, very upset with you.
That's fine. You can't remember 18 weeks ago, so.
The number 2, the Black Cauldron. Number 3, the Seventh Seal. Maybe?
I don't think so.
No, goddammit.
But maybe it was. I don't remember myself.
Midnight Train to Georgia?
Ha! I don't think that's a movie, and if it is, we have not watched it.
That's not a movie?
It might be.
I'm thinking of Midnight Meat Train to Georgia.
Now that I can say is a great movie. Do you want to know what movie number 3 was?
What was movie number 3?
It was Horse Girl.
Oh, right. I've picked some winners. I really have.
Yeah, well, so have I.
Was movie number 4 Knives Out?
No.
God damn it. It's fine.
I
don't want to know. It's better that I don't know.
Okay, all right. Done. Put my phone away.
Excellent.
Oh, boy. So, the writer-director of this movie, Stephen Knight, is a name that I had heard before, but I wasn't quite sure. For some reason, it said, oh, well, this should be a quality movie then, but it turns out I've never seen any other thing he's ever done.
Okay.
Have you ever heard of him or seen anything that he has done?
I don't believe so, but I've got the IMDB page pulled up, so let me look at his page and see.
Because when I looked him up, the first movie that popped up was a movie from last year that was generally called one of the worst movies ever made.
So the movie you're talking about, I'm assuming, is Serenity.
Yes.
And I listened to the How Did This Get Made about that movie, and it made me really want to watch it.
As did I.
So I haven't seen any of the other movies that he directed. And it actually doesn't look like I've seen any of the movies that he's written either, because he's written a lot more movies than he directed.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah. Oh, he created Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? What?
Yeah, apparently that is
what?
a thing. Yeah.
All right, I've watched a lot of Who Wants to Be a Millionaire.
I've seen some of that. He did write Eastern Promises, which I did see.
Okay.
And it's a really great movie, directed by David Cronenberg in one of his not vaginal movies, which most of them are.
Right.
That's pretty much it.
Yeah. He did that movie Seventh Son with Jeff Bridges as a samurai or something. It looks like.
Oh, I have no idea what that is. Okay.
You're probably doing all right.
Yeah. I feel like it. I mean, especially if Jeff Bridges was still in his weird toothless phase.
I think he may have had teeth in that movie. I don't know.
Well, I mean, I think he's never really lost his teeth, but he talks like it a lot.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I think the last movie that he ever spoke with a regular voice was Iron Man.
All right, so yeah, this was after Iron Man for sure. Wow.
Because I don't know. Because
yeah,
making weird choices.
That's right. His name reminds me of Stephen Denight, who I think worked on Daredevil, maybe?
I believe you are correct.
Yeah, so maybe that's what I thought of when I heard this guy's voice, or this guy's name.
I possibly thought the same thing, too. Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah. But, I mean, if I'd have known before going into this movie, if I'd have known what this movie was about, I probably never would have picked it in the first place.
All right.
Because I had no clue other than it was Tom Hardy driving, not realizing that is exactly 100% what it would be.
You got what you sort of expected.
Yeah, I guess, yeah. But if I had known that, it was from the writer-director of Serenity, I probably would not have been, keen to watch it. So, I'm glad that I didn't know.
Yeah, I am too, actually.
Yeah.
I liked having zero expectations going into this.
Yeah. So it's a fine movie to watch once for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
There are worse movies you could watch for an hour and a half.
Exactly.
For sure.
All right. So I know it's been a little rough lately, but anything cool and exciting that you'd like to recommend?
Nothing recent. I guess, over the weekend and earlier this week, I've sort of just been reading a bunch of dumb DC comics.
Okay.
Like I read the Booster Gold run that Jeff Johns and Jeff Katz and Dan Jurgens did in like 2006.
Okay, yeah.
I read that over the weekend. I also read Superman's Secret Origin, another Jeff Johns comic. I was on a Jeff Johns kick over the weekend. I don't know why.
That is very weird for you.
I think that I wanted something that I could sort of just turn my brain off.
Okay.
And enjoy, and I got that from those.
Well, that's good.
So that was nice.
I mean, those are generally his least, bloody works, I guess.
Definitely, yeah. There are no dismemberments or decapitations in either of those series.
Yeah. I'm sure we talked about this in one of our iterations of this podcast, but there was a period of time where DC just became very dark and gritty in the mid to late 2000s.
Right.
And for some reason, people were blaming, Dan DiDio for sure, but everyone else but Jeff Johns, when every example that I could think of was exactly from Jeff Johns.
Yeah. Yeah, he leaned into it pretty hard.
Yeah. But, I've enjoyed some of his work. I really enjoyed his run on JSA.
Yeah, the original one with David Goyer, or the
yes, that one.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've read quite a bit of that. I don't remember a ton about it, but I read it for a long time, so I must have been liking it.
Yeah.
I did read somewhat recently the post Infinite Crisis JSA series that had basically like a sequel or prequel to Kingdom Come in it.
Yes.
And that was actually pretty entertaining as well.
I enjoyed that one as well. Yeah. It was weird that Alex Ross was heavily involved, but whatever.
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess my thing that I've enjoyed / recommendation is old comics.
All right, there's nothing wrong with that. Well,
how about you?
My recommendation is going to be sort of a new comic.
Okay.
In that it's a collection literally came out Tuesday.
Oh, nice. Okay.
But I believe it is a reprint of an older series. But it is Michael Fife's Panorama.
Oh yeah, okay.
Which is it's dark and it's twisted and it's weird as fuck. But it's enjoyable.
Nice. All right.
The closest thing that I could describe it as being is, have you ever read any of the Peter Milligan Shade the Changing Man?
I've read maybe like the first 10 issues of it.
Okay.
And I really liked it. I just haven't finished it.
It reminds me like Peter Milligan when he revamped Shade the Changing Man, just took it in a completely different direction than the original Steve Ditko series.
Right.
But this is sort of reminds me of like a way more twisted version of Peter Milligan doing a more traditional version of the Steve Ditko series.
Interesting. Okay. That makes total sense to me.
Yeah. And speaking of David Cronenberg, it's very heavy into the body horror sort of thing. Just
okay.
Twisted limbs and faces, and it's got a heavy Junji Ito type of vibe to it as well.
Nice.
Who was a manga artist known for Uzumaki and other horror comics.
Okay.
He also has another comic which I enjoy, Junji Ito, which is all about how he learned to love his wife's cats.
Nice.
Yeah.
That sounds really nice.
It is really nice. So Panorama, that's my recommendation for the week.
Excellent. I will check that out.
Which I was able to read with my brand new reader glasses, because I'm an
Yay.
old man.
You know what? You do what you gotta do to be able to read.
Yeah.
It's a vital life skill.
It really is, and I don't do a lot of it anymore, and it saddens me that I don't.
Well, now you can.
Yeah. Nothing was stopping me, before my eyes went to shit, but I wasn't doing it then either, so.
I tried to give you an out.
I know. I am, if anything, too honest about myself.
There's nothing wrong with that.
No.
It's good to level set yourself, at least with yourself.
Yeah. I am always aware of all my faults and flaws, and I let everybody else know, because that is all I am, is faults and flaws. I suck.
Are you plugging your new podcast, Faults and Flaws, with Eric Schomburn?
No, because nobody wants to listen to that.
You could have people on to talk about their faults and flaws.
That's true.
That should be kind of entertaining.
All right, well, maybe.
Coming soon from the Gutter Trash Network.
Yeah, possibly. It's a better idea than I had for my 100 Bottles of Beer on the Wall podcast years ago.
Were you gonna drink and review 100 bottles of beer?
No, you actually even participated.
Oh, right.
I was going to post one verse of the song 100 Bottles of Beer on the Wall, sung by as many different people as I could get.
I forgot all about that.
Yeah, it was logistically a pain in the ass, because each episode would only be like 6 seconds long. And there was going to be 100 of them. And also, I only know 4 people. So, just it was going to be a nightmare.
I could have done different voices.
It's true. It pops up into my head occasionally, so I might still.
All right, well, keep me posted.
Yeah, when the second wave hits and I won't be able to go to work anymore, then, maybe that's what I'll do.
What a great quarantine project. So I guess I should probably pick a movie for next time, huh?
Yeah, that'd be great.
All right. Well, I'm going to pick. I know I sent you a list a couple weeks ago of possibilities for then, and this is also going to come from that list.
Okay.
This is a movie by the Coen brothers.
Alrighty.
Called
I enjoy those men.
It's called A Serious Man.
Okie doke. What's that on?
That is on Netflix.
Yes, okay. I have that service.
I will not pick anything that's not on a service you don't have, I promise.
Yeah, that's fine. I mean, you already have once, but, it worked out.
Oh, right, I did. That was a spur of the moment.
That is true.
There were extenuating circumstances in that one.
And your very first movie was something that was on DVD.
Right.
Which,
you know what? I quit. I'm tired. I'm done.
No, you're fine. I'll be honest, I'm sitting here staring at my DVD collection and thinking, there's movies on here that I haven't seen, but I don't know how to get Joe to see them.
Well, run them by me and we'll figure something out.
All right.
I think the library is open for curbside service, so I could potentially get movies from the library if needed.
I do always check Hoopla or Canopy to see if they have something that I'm thinking of, just to make sure.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
All right, yeah. So A Serious Man.
All right, that is one I haven't seen. So
yeah, I have not seen it either, and I've wanted to watch it for a while. So I'm excited to watch it.
Cool. All righty. Our first Coen Brothers movie. This is exciting.
Yeah. All right. Well, we'll be back next week with that one.
Certainly.
All right. Talk to you then.
Goodbye. Thank you for listening to The Viewmasters. You can subscribe to the show directly at view.guttertrash.net or at iTunes and leave us a review. Visit view.guttertrash.net for email information and links to Facebook and Twitter. We'll see you next time on The Viewmasters.